Hi friends, and welcome back for a brand new video. If you don't know me, hi, the name's Nolwenn, I'm 24, French and a legal practitioner. If you've been following me on social media, you might have noticed that my little family formerly composed of myself. That was it. But it was a really good piece, let me tell you. Well, it has expanded. Yes, I finally took the chance at adopting a cat. I always adored cats, like I'm heavily obsessed with them, and my childhood cat Fripouille did nothing to tone down this obsession, because him and I had a very special bond. He was the family cat, the little king of the house, my little ginger gremlin who was sowing chaos at 2 a.m. in the morning just to go outside, our little gourmet, and my little brother. To this day, I still believe that he was my soulmate, and his passing really hurt me. Adopting was very seriously on the table ever since I started working at my full-time job, but there were many questions that constantly crossed my mind. Will this cat be happy? Will I be loving and caring enough with this cat? Will I be patient enough? If the cat gets sick, will I notice it soon enough? Won't the cat be bored? And what if I accidentally hurt my cat?
You know the sound that a fork makes in the garbage disposal? That's the sound that my brain makes all the time.
And an even more selfish thought was, when the cat dies, will I be able to overcome the grief I felt when Fripouille passed away once again? Those many questions and thoughts made me think about this huge responsibility, because taking care of myself is one thing. If I mess up, that's on me. But taking care of somebody else is completely different, especially if that person or animal is dependent on me. Because if I do something stupid, they will get hurt, even though they did nothing wrong. So I have to be extra careful now with my choices. But then, in November 2022, my uncle made me cat sit his cat, Sticky, while he was away on vacation, and this experience was actually wonderful for my anxiety. Those 3 weeks actually reassured me a lot regarding my capability of taking care of a cat, and a year later, I decided to take that step. So, now you can say hi to Gideon! He's, out of the litter. I'm just going to add a picture of him. Gideon is a 12-year-old male cat, a senior cat basically, with the particularity that he has the cat equivalent for AIDS. However, the illness hasn't manifested itself, so right now he's as healthy as any other cat, which is a good thing, and I pray that it stays this way for a very long time. I adopted Gideon through a pet rescue, so he got spayed and neutered, he got all of his vaccines, etc, etc. And yes, as I've mentioned before, he is 12, so he is a senior cat, and 12 is not young for a kitty, but honestly, at this point I don't mind. Cats, especially kept indoors, can live a very long time, and since I'm going to be watching his health closely, I'm going to make sure Gideon has the longest lifespan possible. Besides, I couldn't see myself refusing him because of his age. It felt like a very selfish thing to do for me. I'd rather have a shorter yet very happy time with him, making sure that all of his days are filled with joy and happiness, than leaving him alone at the shelter to die and me being unhappy anyway. This very same thought actually helped me ponder over the question of the grief, because I tend to spiral a lot and think of the worst constantly. Instead of focusing on myself, on my pain and on my grief, I decided to focus on the happiness I can bring to other cats. Because yes, I won't sugarcoat it, grief hurts, and the loss is as painful and deep as the love you had for your loved one. But isn't it better to know that you've loved and you've been loved than nothing at all? Because if I don't adopt a cat, well, the worst case scenario would be that this cat will remain at the shelter forever and maybe end up being put down because the shelter might require space for other cats. To protect my so-called peace, it would mean that I would have to sacrifice a cat's chance at a greater life, and this very same thought slapped me in the face. Of course, I'm mentioning the worst case scenario because maybe someone else will come and take the cat to their forever home and make them happy. I mean, other people love cats. Some of them are even obsessed with cats like I am. But in my opinion, to love a cat is a magical experience, especially when that cat actually loves you back, because that love will stay in your heart forever. Like a special character said in Another Ninth by Tamsin Muir, life is too short and love is too long. So I'm choosing to love. And I'm going to love as many cats as I can during my lifetime. This is going to happen. I will love your cat. It's not mine, it's yours. I don't care, I'm going to love it anyway. And choosing to love and by extension to adopt was the best choice for me. The first time we met at the shelter, Gideon was immediately affectionate with me, had bumps, scratches, kisses, hugs, all of that. And this instant connection made me think, yep, he is the one for me. It was love at first sight. Poor baby used to live in the streets and was taken in by an association, and the first time I met him, he'd been at the shelter for 5 months already, and he was shedding so much fur from the stress despite the care brought by the pet rescuers. It was insane. I couldn't live with Gideon the very same day, not only because the shelter did not allow it, which I perfectly understand, but also because I didn't have everything ready at home to welcome him. However, when I left for the first time, I wasn't on my own. 2 of my besties came with me because I just couldn't feel like going to the shelter on my own. It would just break my heart. So I went there with my 2 besties, and when I left Gideon, I started bawling like a baby from all of the emotions I was feeling. Love, sadness, happiness, joy, everything. It was just a lot, and tears just started flooding my eyes. So my best friends had to comfort me, and even the pet rescuers, they were like, "Are you okay, man?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm so happy. Life is so great." However, I was allowed to visit Gideon at any time, and I did so 2 days later, and it just confirmed my feeling, because not only did he recognize me, he also immediately asked for kisses, hugs, and everything. And this time I was allowed to open up the cage and, actually hug him, and I think I got a beard that day from how much fur landed on my face. So in the meantime, I filled up the paperwork, finished preparing for his arrival, and on the 2nd of September 2023, I picked him up from the shelter. And ever since, it's been true love. Mind you, Fripouille was quite affectionate with me, but Gideon? Oh my god, that is a whole other level. He constantly sleeps with me, he wants to be in the same room as I am. Well, not today, obviously, but he demands affection all the time. Kisses, hugs, head bumps. When I sleep, he tries to be as close to my face as possible. He sleeps in my arms. This is just crazy. This much love actually really helped me when I was at my lowest because of my depression, and I did everything in my power to ensure Gideon's happiness. There were times when I couldn't eat, I didn't have any appetite or energy to get out of bed, and yet I did it, solely to fill up Gideon's bowls for food and water, to give him some treats, to clean up his litter, to give him affection. I did everything to look after Gideon, even when I couldn't look after myself. It really rejoins the thought of me considering this as a huge responsibility, because, as I said, if I mess up, that's on me. But if I mess up and it hurts someone else, then it is unacceptable to me. So that's why, not only out of love, of course, but also out of duty, I actually did everything to make sure Gideon would be happy, even if I wasn't. At the time, one of my besties actually laughed and said that the cat probably ate more than I did, and looking back, I think she was right. Gideon's been with me for 8 months now, and it feels like a lifetime already. I am happy to get home from work. I don't feel as lonely as I used to be. My depression got a lot better, all thanks to him, and I genuinely think it. And I love him with all of my heart, and he's my son. I can't remember life before him. I tried remembering how it felt to sleep without him, to sleep on my own. I tried to remember how it felt when I came back home on my own with no one waiting for me, and I couldn't fathom it. It was impossible. Now this is my new normal, and I don't want to have it any other way. Gideon filled a void that was inside of my heart, and I was unaware of that void. And now that I know, I don't want to go back to the way it was. I know that the way I love cats may be a bit more intense than the way regular people love cats, to the point where I actually talked about it in therapy, and I cried so much that day, you guys! But cats make me feel things, very strong emotions, and I adore them so much. And while sometimes it can be a lot to deal with these emotions, that I still have to work on myself, I'm still very glad to be able to experience such profound love. Gideon makes me very happy, and he actually made me keep my current job, because whenever I thought about quitting, I was like, wait, if I quit, I won't have a wage, which means I won't be able to pay for rent, to pay for food, to pay for electricity, etc., etc. And if I can't afford that, Gideon won't be happy. And if my cat isn't happy, then it's the end of the world. So in a way, I kept my job thanks to Gideon, and now it's all better at my job. And he also filled up my bank account. Back when I first met Gideon, his name was Souffly. It was the name the pet rescuers gave him, and it was very cute, but I wanted to give him a new name to start his new life. So you might wonder where the name Gideon came from. Well... Yep, the Loctum series is my Roman Empire. Seeing him being so resistant, braving everything to get a chance at love, and basically surviving everything, I just thought, yeah, that's exactly like Gideon Nav. The name is perfectly fitting. Originally, I had planned this for the names. If the cat was a ginger, it would be Gideon. If the cat was black, it would be Harrow. And if the cat was any color but female, at least, it would be Nona. All Loctum series related names. All of this to say, I am so glad I made that choice to adopt. If you consider adopting, please think this through carefully, because an animal is a major responsibility. Their happiness depends heavily on you. And I know I might make it sound like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, but I really want you to be aware of what adopting an animal implies. You have to surveil their health, you have to, whenever you're planning a holiday, plan who is also going to take care of your pet while you're gone. And even your job might not be perfectly fitting, because let's imagine you're on your own, you adopt a cat, and you are going constantly on business trips. Who is going to look after your cat? This system and this lifestyle simply does not fit your pet, so you really have to think this through. If you can, please adopt and don't shop, because there are plenty of other adorable little cats, dogs, bunnies, etc. out there just waiting for their forever home. And also consider giving a chance to seniors. They might actually perfectly fit your lifestyle. I mean, I am someone who's very calm and who needs sleep a lot, and Gideon, being a senior and being super duper calm, we actually are so complementary of each other. He fits my lifestyle perfectly. Finally, here are more pictures of Gideon, because, well, the point of this video was to show you my cat. Say it in the comments. This isn't a request, it's an order. Also, I'd love to read your stories about your little babies, especially if you can include pictures. I don't know if you can do that in a YouTube comment section. I don't think you can, but on other social media, things like that, just send me pictures of your babies. Cats, mostly. I love cats, but dogs, bunnies, horses. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, a comment, share with a friend, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. And as usual, take care, and I'll be seeing you around. Bye!